Hey guys, it's the Fields Bros. Welcome back to the channel. Happy holidays and a Merry Christmas. Today we have a special video for you guys today. We're going to be discussing the Los Angeles Lakers. Now this is a rocky one. This team had championship aspirations and championship persona at the beginning of the year. That was the expectation, but right now this team is struggling. So we're going to break all this down between the COVID protocols, all the new players, ins and out of the lineup, how players fit, and we're going to talk about LeBron James, Russell Westbrook, and of course, Anthony Davis, who's now out for 4 to 6 weeks. So helping me break all this down today is co-owner of the channel, Brandon Fields. What's your take on the Lakers so far this year?
Well, first things first, let's talk about the new players we just got hours ago. We just got Darren Collison and Stanley Johnson.
Yep.
So there's been so many players that have been cycled in at this point. Like you're talking, especially in the lineups. We've had THT, Ellington, Bazemore. You've had Reeves.
Monk.
You've had Monk starting. You've had Isaiah Thomas has even started. You've had now we're adding these two players. So that's like nine or so players that Russ is having to play with as the point guard of this team. And how do you develop continuity when you don't have consistency?
Sure.
So I feel like that's the biggest problem with this team is, and now that they're under 500, I'm open to the negativity is definitely worth addressing at this point.
Right. At the beginning of the season, it was almost sort of like they're going to figure it out. It's LeBron. He's been through this before. And just AD, really, a lot of criticism has come AD's way this year. What's your opinion on how he's been playing?
Well, when LeBron was his age, he was the best player in the world. When Westbrook was his age, he was MVP in the league. So I feel like that's the standard. Like he has to be the best player on this team if we want to be a championship team.
Do you think the Lakers can stay afloat over this process and over this period he's out?
I don't know. Like the offense has been awful. Look at we're only averaging like 90 points a game, 98 points a game. So like we're gonna need more players to actually score for our team. We need a couple guys off the bench in double figures. So definitely some problems to work out. The coaching, Vogel and Fizdale both starting Ellington and THT. Like he's a part of both of their schematics in their mind for some reason.
Yeah, the lineups this year have been crazy. There's been no consistency.
I'm not a fan of Wayne Ellington. I know he hit a shot at Dallas, a lucky shot, and we won that game. So he helped us get that game for sure. But it's like I'm not a fan of him and THT as a starter. So we got to replace them.
What are your targets for them?
Well, I'd like Kemba Walker, but I doubt the Knicks would want THT for Kemba Walker. But money-wise, in about 4 weeks, it'd be eligible because THT makes like $9 million, and Kemba's at like $9 million, 9 or 10 million. So like that'd be the best case scenario. But there's so many players that we've tried. Like we should at least cut Bazemore and at least cut Ellington and make some roster spots. Like you can't tell me that those two are gonna affect us winning a championship or not. Like you're trying all these new players anyway, so get rid of a couple guys you came into the year with, or else that's the whole reason you're targeting new players because they fucking suck.
Right.
So it's like you definitely got your Ellington and Tucker. If you don't do that and you keep starting them all year, we're not gonna get anywhere.
A player I want to shout out and a player I've been really high on for a long time is a player like LiAngelo Ball. I think a player like LiAngelo Ball, he's young, and not only that, is he's hungry and he's ready to show what he's worth. Having a guy like Ellington, like you were saying, there's no way Ellington that you can tell me he's better than LiAngelo Ball right now. Ellington is closer to the end than he is at the beginning of his career. Like he's on his way out the door in a few years. So having a player like LiAngelo, and you can gauge how good he'll be based on his brothers.
Right. Well, as far as THT, like what is he good at? He doesn't take people off the dribble well. He doesn't have a mid-range pull-up game. He can't drive to the basket because he cannot use his left hand. He only goes from certain angles, and he's always missing weird layups. He can't make baseline jump shots. Mm-hmm. He can't make catch-and-shoot threes. Like, I don't know what he's good at.
Some players I would target. I definitely love the Kemba idea for Talen Horton-Tucker. He becomes eligible January 15th.
We got to think of some other
I
stuff.
also think a 6'6", 3-and-D guy who can just hit some shots. A Daniel House. Sign LiAngelo Ball. I think we should get rid of Rondo at this stage and open up a roster spot if we're going to open up a spot for anything. Bazemore is a lengthy defender who can hit some shots. They kind of like Reeves and they kind of like Tucker in those roles. Rondo doesn't play. We're searching for all these different wings, and there's a ton of them on the team. I don't have to name them. They're all not very good. You mean, so signing a dude like LiAngelo, he fits what they're trying to do on the court. You mean, he fits what they're trying to do on the court in all those players like a Ellington, like a Bazemore. So having a player like Jello, who's younger and is ready to prove himself, I think that's a player we should target. I think Thaddeus Young, yes, he's older, but he's also a vet, and he just helps strengthen up some weak spots on the team.
Yeah.
A Daniel House, as I mentioned. People like Miles Turner as an option. That people want Jeremy Grant. So there's options out there for the Lakers in this meantime to try to make a move.
Definitely. As far as the starters, again, like LeBron's missed a lot of time. AD's missed time. Westbrook hasn't. But, like, I don't know. We have to get LeBron James consistent. He has to have a consistent starting lineup that he can develop chemistry. He said there's no chemistry in the post-game interview last night. So it's like the only way to get that to happen is, well, I guess AD's still out for 4 weeks, so we're really never going to get a chance to be at our best. So as of right now, it does not look very good. Like, they look like a first-round exit if they get in there.
Right. How's LeBron look to you in year 19?
He looks good from a durability standpoint, but his availability is not where it needs to be. Like I said, same problem last year when he rolled his ankle inwards.
Yeah.
And he was out half the year, and then you saw them struggle in the playoffs. AD got hurt right away. He had a growing injury, and you got smacked by that Suns team. So we're not as good as we need to be right now, but we have to get rid of all these bad role players that are the reason we're in this situation.
Yes.
Like if you're signing 8 players on 10-day contracts, get rid of the guys that you've been trying to use. Get rid of Bazemore, get rid of Ellington, get rid of Rondo. At least those 3 players.
Yeah.
And find new permanent roster spot holders.
Right.
Get Thaddeus Young, a 14-a-game guy. So if none's never going to be healthy, I can trade him when he's eligible, or else he's not going to ever come back in time to have an impact.
Yeah, because at that point the Lakers are probably. So tomorrow at 8 o'clock, Christmas Day, Lakers Nets. What's your expectation?
Well, are we going to score 100 points or more? We like LeBron and Russ are playing solid, but if we only get to 100 points as a team or 90, we're not going to win. Like, we have to get to at least 115, 120, and the Nets are going to score a lot more than 90 points. So I think we're going to lose this game because we're going to be trying all these new role players. Stanley Johnson will be playing.
Any hope that Russ playing against his former teammates in Harden and KD, he's motivated and the team just picks up on that and they can just roll one off. We're on a 4-game losing streak. It's the longest of the season. The Lakers realistically need, this is a playoff game for them tomorrow. They have to win this game.
We're under 500, so now that we're at this point, I'm on the board that every game is an impact game now.
Right. And the Lakers, man, once again, this is a team that had championship aspirations at the beginning of the year. There was a lot of people who questioned whether the team was too old. And I remember LeBron put out a social media post that said, keep that same energy. If you look at a lot of players on this team, Talen Horton-Tucker is a 7th or 8th or 9th guy on any other team in the league, but he's a starter for our team. We have a lot of old bench players. I don't have to name them. You guys at this point know who they are. So the Lakers at this point, outside of our big 3, outside of LeBron, outside of Westbrook, outside of AD, LeBron didn't even name any of those guys today. He said, who do we have?
Yeah, he
We have me, LeBron. We have me, Russ and AD, and he didn't name anybody else.
He pointed out the fact that it's only usually a duo of them out there. He's like, who's starting? AD and Russ, and then some 3 players while I'm out. Now that AD's out, me and Russ, and throw in 3 players. So it's like their lineups are really bad. Like last night, 66 points from LeBron and Russ as a duo, almost 70 points, and you lose by 30 points. Wow.
Yeah.
It's like,
because you look at a team like Memphis who played exceptional without John Morant. You're looking at this older Laker team full of vets wondering, okay, it's been 30 games. You guys now have your legs under you. At what point are you going to start playing how you're supposed to be playing because they're veterans?
Would you agree that all the vets are not vets that we need? What I mean by that is Melo was a good player. Now he's pretty good off the bench. Like, he's a true veteran player. Ellington's never been a star player. He's just an old bench player.
Yeah.
Like, he's a vet, but he's a bench player vet.
Yeah.
So there's a difference between having vets that were used to be good and then just bench players. Like Rondo, like, I'd rather have him over Ellington because he's a vet in the sense of he used to be good.
Right.
Like, those are the vets we need. We don't need guys who are just bums.
More.
Like, on an NBA standard, like, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, he's a pro player, but on that level, he's not a true vet in the sense that he was a good star player at some point.
What's your opinion on Russell Westbrook this year?
You got to cut the turnovers down, but to me, he look at all the players. I'm not going to name all these players again. I already named them once. He's played with so many different players. So when you're making passes, like the chemistry, like you have to play with people so you know where they're going to be.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, guys are having no practice because of COVID. Like, but the only thing he can control is his foul shooting. He has to make his free throws. Like, he's averaging 19.8 points right now. He'd be over 20 if he was making free throws. And, 66% is not good enough. He has to shoot like 81, 82 if we're going to win the championship. And LeBron, that goes for him as well. Like, he has to at least shoot 75.
Right.
You can't both be. We're the worst. I think they're either the worst or second to worst at free throws. We're shooting like a high school team in terms of percentages. People are just walking up there and breaking them. We missed like 10 a game.
Right.
So it's the little things. Turnovers and free throws will make a world difference for our team.
Going forward as a whole, this next portion of the video is going to be type of projections. I still hold out. I'm a hardcore LeBron follower. I followed him the whole career. I don't think they catch Golden State. I don't think they catch Phoenix. But I think they can get to that 4-5 slot. I think they can play well enough and get to a 4-5 and give themselves a chance. Like, I think that's what's going to happen. I think they're going to figure it out. They always do. It's LeBron. And everyone's kicking him while they're down. Have fun right now. They're 16 and 17. Have fun now. At some point, they're going to turn it around. I hope. These are my predictions. And they're going to start playing Laker basketball.
But would you agree, you've seen enough, that the roster needs to have a change? Like, LeBron was 15 to 26 last night. He played well. It's not like LeBron's struggling. Westbrook had 30 points, and he always picks up steam throughout the season. The dude has great career stats. Like, you know what you're going to get from him over the course of a year. And, bench players are the problem with this team. We're not going to beat anybody when we score 95 points. Like, that's alarming to me that LeBron and Russ both have 30 plus, but the team's points is so bad because the other 8 players literally gave us 34 points between the 8 of them.
Right.
So, and this is happening consistently. Like, Wayne Ellington, like, what's he good at? Can he make pull-up dribble shots? Like I was harping on Tucker earlier. He doesn't do anything but a three-point shot where he's lunging towards the hoop like he's Reggie Miller or something.
Kyle Korver.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's a good foul shooter, but when you don't drive, you're never going to get to the line, especially with the rule change they made. So you've seen the foul shot numbers, regress slightly. So it's like Bazemore doesn't get to the line. Like, nobody gets to the line, and our players that are getting there, LeBron and Russ, are missing them. Mm-hmm. Like, Russ used to shoot 84%. Like, as a rookie, he came in 81. So it's like, All right, and he was always good up until he left OKC, or his last year in OKC, and then it's been low since then, high 60s, low 70s. So, but as far as trade rumors, I want your thoughts while I gather mine about Ben Simmons and why you don't like or do like a trade.
I put out some tweets the other day that basically said if the Lakers trade Russell Westbrook for Ben Simmons, I'm going to beat their ass. It'll be the worst trade in NBA history. Ben Simmons can't shoot. He can't score. Ben Simmons is garbage. Ben Simmons is a bum. He can play some defense at a high level. He can pass. But that's at the same time, he can't shoot. So to me, a guy like Ben Simmons, he doesn't fix the problem unless we could just add him for nothing. So I don't think Russell Westbrook, I don't think he's the problem. And I think trading him for Ben Simmons actually makes the team worse.
Much worse.
So
if people are harping on Westbrook, if you think he's a bad shooter, Ben Simmons is way worse. Russ has a career 78 at the foul line. Simmons is 57. Ben Simmons has made 5 3-pointers as a pro. He's only attempted like 30.
Everyone has,
so he doesn't shoot them.
Everyone on the Lakers has been talked about. Just trade him right now.
And what's the most he's averaged? 16? 17? At the most, he's never averaged 18 or higher. Westbrook's averaged over 20 the last 10, 11 years straight, every single year. So it's like, I don't want to. You can't compete. He's won scoring titles, but like he's at least 20 a game every year. Like,
right.
That's not bad.
So I think me and you both agree that as far as trade rumors, trade the supporting cast around the big three. You don't trade Russell Westbrook for Ben Simmons.
Rebuild the team. Rebuild the team. I like if you want to get rid of Rondo, like if you want to, you can even keep Isaiah Thomas because he's better than Rondo. And he's still a good vet. So it's like. You have to start weaning out players and really like locking in. All right, we'll keep this guy Westbrook, Isaiah. Out of the 2 guards, who do you like in there that you aren't willing to look at? Out of all the guys, maybe keep Bradley, get rid of Ellington, Tucker, Bazemore. So it's like I'd rather have Bradley than those 3.
Right.
So now we've got Westbrook, IT, and Bradley. So 3 backcourt players that so far have made our team. And then after that, you'd have Melo, you'd have LeBron, AD,
the centers.
So now you're only at like 6, 7 players. So now you got to sign some of these new players. Like, trade Tucker for something. Somebody will give us, you can get something for him.
Yep.
Like, you have to get something for him. But there's only like 6 players that have really made this team, for sure.
So quickly to close out, how many more games or how long does Frank Vogel have? He's on the hot seat.
Oh, we're on a 4-game losing streak. Fizdale's 0-2.
3,
whatever it is. All right, so we're 16 and 17. So but we're playing all these new players, so it's like we're not guaranteed to play well next game. It's another experimental game. I don't even know who we play.
How long does Frank Vogel have, in your opinion? Does he last the rest of the season?
Probably not. I would say once the team, if this loss streak goes to 8 or 9, you're gonna see a change. But I'm almost positive you're gonna see how the Cavaliers had that that midway point where they shipped everybody out.
Yep.
Everyone was gone. D-Wade, everybody, all the homies. So it's you might have to make a trade to shake up the team, but do your best to rebuild the team. Try to keep, really wean off and only keep the best of the people on your roster and rebuild the rest of the team.
All right, guys, for more videos like this, comment, and subscribe to the channel. It's the Fields Bros. Peace.